I watch some stuff on like YouTube or different stuff and get a perspective, just to try to see like what's happening or language that is used and things that are spoken. It's really important, but I don't never sit out there and say, terrible things and whatever. I don't know these people. I don't know, and it's not to do with me, but a lot of times discrimination comes about, or people want to assume. They do all kind of shit to try to understand what somebody else is saying. But if I'm talking on my Facebook page describing something about me, then I find that I don't have to explain everything to everybody about everything that I am saying. Especially when them people not even showing that they even watching my shit and they're not asking me the question. And so me putting out Facebook Lives or whatever the situation is important to me, of course. But when I watch like YouTube and there may be some, like, well, I don't know, like some information out there, like from, okay, people may have a disagreement about something. It really does matter. Like, for instance, just because someone is, 80 years old does not mean that they have to be sick or injured. But a lot of times people find that and they attack them and they want something from them, or they're, a lot of it be like drugs. Like people believe that they have to be on medicine because they all like, I was in a Racine County jail and I was taking medication. And I believe that everybody was supposed to be on medicine, especially if they were a specific age. And it was this white woman that she was in the same jail cell as me. And when I came in there, she was saying, like, telling me that why she was in there, whatever. I would talk about shoplifting. She was talking about some stealing shit, whatever. But she had tried to say that I had told her that I was going to put money, or I did put money on her books and shit. I told her, no, that was not me. You know what I'm saying? I ain't put no money on your books and all that shit. I know I didn't. But anyway, so that was like, I don't even know. It was, let's see, about 2021 or something like that. But anyway, so maybe, no, I wouldn't. Was it 2021? It was around that 18, 2000. It was not 2018. It was about 2000, I don't even know. Anyway, because it was around, I believe, like July 4th or whatever, because I believe that I was, because I said they having a parade without me and all this shit. But anyway, so the person, whoever, it was time to take medication. I said, because she had took medication, but she was getting some kind of skin cream or something like that. And then later they tried to have me they called her name and my name to go get a COVID shot, but I didn't get that shit. And so I was like, I don't know why y'all asking me. I'm not taking that COVID shot. Whatever. Yeah, so it was about 2021. So, but anyway. And so as I said, you take medication? Like, and she's like, no. I said, you don't take any medication at all? Like, you're not on any prescription drugs regularly or anything like that? And she told me no. And it was just interesting because I assumed that especially being in jail, I know that not everybody take medications or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But I've just assumed, like, most people, I would say, take medication. Because I know that there's some people that don't take pills. But at least sometimes I would see someone to take a medication or whatever, like whether it be for anything. You know what I'm saying? Maybe pain medicine or antibiotics or, but she said she doesn't take any medication at all. And I was just like, wow, that was really interesting to me. I'm not modeling my life after her because I haven't even fucking thought about that shit since then. So just to make that fucking plain or whatever, I still was taking them pills. So she ain't changed me at all. I don't fucking know her. But the only reason why I brought it up is because, like, people try to say, like, they believe because they are older that they have to be on pills. And I'm gonna take this picture right now. Yeah, but just because somebody is a specific age, that don't mean. Look, I just had to take that picture. It's really interesting. The clouds like that. Wow, that's I don't even fucking know. That shit lit. But one reason why I had asked her was because she had said she was standing in line. I wasn't paying attention to what people, but she was getting pills or whatever. But when she stopped going up there, I was like, you don't take medicine, whatever, medication. She could have been saying the truth or not to me. I don't fucking know. But she went and took that goddamn shot though. You know what I'm saying? So it just really all depends on what people are doing. Like I said, not everybody is taking a pill every day, but some people take some. I've seen somebody take something, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be regularly or not, or, you know, I just have believed that, especially when somebody get a specific age, you know. But I don't know. As I look, I said, wait a minute, I got to stop right there because I know some people that want on no pills or whatever. But I know that I've seen a lot of people that are older that have been on medications or whatever, and they take all of those pills and they just like, oh, because you're older. That's one reason why I had believed this shit about my dad, because of the stereotypes. But it be like in a specific community. But you know what? Had I ever knew a little piece of information about like those super agers and all that, then I would have fundamentally questioned someone's approach to find and realize that they were being deceptive about my dad. They were using medication as a weapon, you know, because they couldn't, you know, they call themselves professionals and shit. They ain't gonna really fight like that or whatever. And a lot of times people want what they can't have, or I had just dropped my phone. I was trying to whatever, but I was just kind of moving some whatever, and I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm trying to be strong. And it's cold out here, and I have some areas of improvement, and I have some weaknesses due to nutrition, but I am not dead and I am not dying. That is a natural thing. Woo. Oh, is that an airplane or what? Oh my, oh, that bird is flying so smooth. I don't know what that is, but anyway, but I look at the situation and I know and I realize and I understand that, you know, people believe in all kinds of things, and it could be just a difference of how they care for themselves, how they treat themselves, how they are treated, what they eat, what they do, you know, what they're introduced to. Some cities are hitting communities where they're just open fields of doctors, where they're just, people happen to stumble into a city and there's secrecy of not only demise, but of like, you know, they believe in, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know, whatever, but you know, some people create a city. Like there's, in Africa, there's white people, or they were saying that it's just white only. And they were interviewed, and it was just like, they said that they got together, just a group of them, and they purchased like a city area, and it's only for them, and no black people are allowed because it's their city. Just like if somebody bought a house, you know, you don't have to have anybody in your fucking house or whatever, and that doesn't make them racist or prejudiced. And the man said that they want their own rules. They want to make their own culture to keep they want to keep their own culture. I want to say it right. They want to keep their own culture alive, because I got my own stuff to say, because I can say what things mean to me, but this is actually important to me though. Like, They just want to make more white babies. They just want to go on their own rules and teach each other and strengthen each other with their own books that they read or whatever books that they create and they write. And black people don't fit into that. They don't want black babies. They don't want, it's not like can't talk to black people at all, but they don't want to have to cohabitate with others. Like they can buy whatever the fuck they want. If somebody having a birthday party, they use their money and, they have the birthday party. And people can't get mad because you can't just randomly walk up into somebody's birthday party. Like that shit doesn't even make sense. You can't just walk up into a lot of different places. So why can't these people make their own city? They found a bunch of land and created it and justify, or now I don't want to say justify it, but they created something for them and they zoned it for them and it is what it is. And just so happens because of the large amount of zone, they can say that it is a city, perhaps because they have to apply for addresses and they build houses and structures and they have to, I don't know if they're using wells or whatever, but it may not even be technically a city, but people are calling it that. But they, you don't have to invite yourself into everything that someone else is doing. Like people have their own ideas of stuff and they're going to teach their children and them like what they want to believe and what they want to go off of. And if they say, hey, you have to run 3 miles every day, that's what they're going to believe. And somebody might say, no, you only have to run 1 mile, or no, you're supposed to run 10, but they're saying like, no, this is what it is. And if you run 10 miles, you must be fucking crazy. Or if you only run one, then you must be, out of your mind. Like that's what they believe because this is the standard of what they want for their life, what they believe to be true. Like they wear a specific thing and they have, all these things, but a lot of times they're target areas where, it's genocidal and it's mass destruction. It's easier to believe. But 80 years old is not even that old. 80 is not that old, but some people believe that, and I believe they misinterpret it. I'm sorry. They say like 70. They say that means that someone can only live 70 years, but I don't believe that. But there was some fucking somebody along the way that came through teaching bad doctrine and convinced so many people like an insurance salesman or something, you know what I'm saying? And told those people that 70 mean they only live 70 years. Now these people are like, oh, they don't have anything else to do. They don't have anywhere to go. And that's the word. Because they knew nothing before. Now they're in this country and that's all that they are allowed to have. And they can't get back. They don't know how to really swim the waters. And a lot of times they bring them over shark infested waters, or it's just too far a climb in these areas of the swim where they didn't know how to walk there. I mean, they used to walk lots a long way, but they knew the route. These people didn't know the route from fucking, just say for instance, Africa to America. They were literally jailed in boats or something. I don't know if they were driving or not. I don't fucking know, but I'm telling you, the sake of it all is just like, I look at this situation and people are literally giving involuntary volunteerism and uninformed consent for things that is unnecessary. Absolutely. But that is not my story. But to find that is so many people around me that are trying to, but they even do it worse now. Where women, they talk about like a woman can't have children because she's over 30 or 40. That's not true. Or a man has to go get his prostate checked when he's like, 40 years old or something. That's not true. You don't have to, for me, like when I was in jail, I had purchased some peppermints and they had artificial dyes in it. Like they had dyes and artificial color in it. And I'm going to keep this shit real, like that was a choice that I had to make. And sometimes those peppermints help me get
from one meal, like not one meal, I didn't give out no fucking meals, and I checked them every time they said it, but because from one, from something to eat to something to eat when I could, to stretch my food out. And it was like I wasn't deceiving myself or playing myself, but I was fucking starving. But I knew my limits, you know what I'm saying? And it wasn't, but I was finding like a little bit of that peppermint was more helpful than none of it. And I knew that I could fight the other about it, but I'm not going to live my life broadcasting those means to constantly pollute and poison my life. I'm going to fight for my life as hard and as often as I can. And if my life consists of every day I have to fight, then that's on my fucking schedule. And I don't have to explain it. Just know that I'm going to fucking fight today. Maybe not all day today, but it's going to be one fight that I get in every fucking day if I have to, just to live my life. And it ain't going to be me going to pick a fight or getting in somebody's business shit because I don't want them in mine. But I'm going to take care of my own self to make sure that I can do what the fuck I have to do for me. And I have to urinate here, but I have to live for me because I know better. I'm looking so. I've always been pretty, but I changed, and I believe that's because of some of the foods that I was eating. It changed. I went through different shit, and when I started to be more focus more on not what others want from me and being raggedy out here and pushing and pulling, and I could easily, how many times went and grabbed a fucking hamburger, and some fries. They hardly ever, like, now they don't even hardly got $1 burgers. That shit is shocking to me because I used to go through the drive-through or something and get me a $1 burger with extra ketchup on it. Always get. I want no dry. Put some extra ketchup on my burger. Not the ketchup packets, the hot shit that's in the fuck in your kitchen. God damn it, in your goddamn laboratory now. God damn it. The fuck. Put some extra ketchup on this shit. But I used to go and grab that, and then I used to put some lettuce, tomatoes, onions, pickles on that shit. And then I might turn around, bend the block, and grab another one before I get a minute the fuck away. And it's easy for me to stay full and feel like I'm full and have empty calories. I don't have to do that. I don't have to live my life that way at all because I know better. But usually things are believed according to the interpretation. And a lot of people believe because someone is smiling all the time and they look clean and they work and these, I just believe just because, they're doctors or no, the fuck not. And they hire people to gatekeep so that they don't have to be, but then shit, and when I start to look at them and have the conversation, I start to realize, you know what? They're not keeping it real with me at all. These motherfuckers don't like me. And it's not about them liking me because they're professional. They're not supposed to like me, but they want something from me that they're not supposed to be getting because it's improper the way that they're asking for it and the way that they're doing it. And to just assume that they're supposed to have it. They believe that I know that, and all these different things. So when people are like, you are 71, so, you're living way more than the time that you're supposed to live. You should, if something happens in your life, then you're on borrowed time. I've heard motherfuckers say that, like, you're on borrowed time. No, I'm not. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. I'm not on borrowed time. I'm not borrowing anybody's time. I have my own life. Nobody can tell me how many years to live or any time like that. People create calendars. They make shit up and pretend, and they're fake. And I'm living as much as I want to. I'm not going to put myself at risk and do dumb stuff. I don't kill anybody. I don't play around with people's lives. I try to tell them the best truth that I know how to. I try to get a good understanding as well, so my conversation can be proper and I can articulate properly in ways that make sense to me so I can manage better. But I'm so serious. Like, I know better, and I've been in different areas where I've seen like how things are, and I just believe myself more than anything else, and that's just something that comes along with me and who I am, and I know better because I've seen somebody tell me, and they all have the same title of cardiologist. They'll tell me that my heart is like something, and then somebody else will say, no, you have a great heart, like you are great. And then they say, oh, you know what, we can't see you because you're seeing another cardiologist. I'm like, that doesn't even, and I literally was so innocent about it too, because I believe that they all knew the same thing. But I knew that I wanted to go and see someone more professional and to look at it and understand. Not only because the person had, talked very healthy about me, before, but because, or not only because the person had gave me this little teddy bear for my daughter or whatever, but because they were honest before they handed me anything, before they handed something to get permission to give to who was there with me, that was attending. And so I just went to ask him some questions because the way that I was living was not adding up. I was feeling sick when I was taking the medicine. It was like my breathing, I literally was learning. So I was meeting people and I was learning and I was studying about how they give Black people blood pressure medications that are inappropriate and how it does shrink the blood vessels. That shit wasn't adding up to me. And the doctor said, like, they shrink the blood pressure, they shrink the blood vessels so that the heart won't have so much pressure. It was some stupid shit. Like, what do you mean? Like, this is literally, why would it shrink the blood vessels? Like, because I was doing the math on it, and it was like word processing almost. Like, I'm trying to really, this shit is stupid to me. Why is it that you all are giving me medicine that's going to make me sleep all day long? And you know that I have an active son. You know that I have an active daughter. You know that I'm active, like, literally, I'm in my 30s and you're telling me that this is going to be some medication that is going to put me to sleep throughout the day. And you want me to take it 4 times a day. And then, but when I went to jail, they didn't even want to give it to me on time. They want to give it to me just 2 times a day. I'm like, wait, I'm supposed to have something in the afternoon. They said, we don't do it like that. And so I'm seeing all these different people not really giving the medicine accordingly, the medication, please, accordingly. And it did not make sense to me appropriately, where they are using me to a disadvantage to push a narrative and pretend like because of I'm beautiful, what they're doing is accurate. And that was not ever true. And so, like, I look at the situation and I'm just like, these people sitting up here believing all the time, and so many people are like wasting away, or they're like, they have to give, work toward for their children. They live their life for their children. I'm like, I don't live my life for my children. I live my life for me. Shit. They have to live for that. I cannot live just to, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't even make sense. But some people believe that. Some people believe that when they have a child, that they have did what they had to do and took their soul, and their soul was put into their child, and they're no longer as a living being, as if only they are a guide and a vessel for their child. Like they're like pretty much a damn ghost. That's not the ghost that I wanted to kind of reference, but that's how I just put it to look at it, because it's just like this shit. No, I'm not that. You know what I'm saying? Like I am actually a real being, and you know, it does not matter, you know, what people say or whatever, but I cannot be here to entertain you and give you hospitality that does not belong to you. I'm not Casper. I'm not any of them. Shit, Casper has some motherfucking uncles out in this bitch though, you know what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is this be some serious stuff to just really look at. And so I watch different things and I just kind of look at them and put them in perspective a lot of times, where people get on that hating shit too. And like, I'm like, man, like, I look at a situation and I'm like, I'm not about to be played by these people. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm some kind of cheap thrill. Like, that's not what's up for me. There's girls out there literally, I'm gonna say it, sucking dick for like $10 and $20. If they would ask me, I'd be telling them, don't do shit for under $1,000. Don't do shit for under 20,000. I don't give a fuck if you the one that's benefiting from doing it. Why would you accept $10 or $20 and you are literally putting yourself in position to work? What can you get with $20? What the fuck can you get with $20,000? A lot motherfucking more. At least you don't have to wait for a motherfucker to pick you up. You can buy you a brand new car. I'm not out here pimping. I'm not out here macking. I'm not out here hoeing. But what I'm saying is, I'm not going to be your strawberry. I learned that from a talk show before. Yeah, they said a strawberry is a prostitute. Sometimes I could say hoe like as a person that's weak or some shit like that. In particular, that's really fucking getting on my goddamn nerves. It's on some bullshit. But, and I that's just a slang word too. You know, I don't know. I don't want to call it derogatory because I have to look it up, but it is cuss word to me. But because sometimes, people, they probably not, but their actions like, I don't know if they having sex for money, but definitely you hoes are literally working a job that is, you know what I'm saying, fucking me over, and you selling yourself short. Like, what the fuck are you doing this for? You know what I'm saying? It's worse than a bitch. Like, you're literally hoeing yourself, and, like, that's what you're doing, but it's just a whole nother route, and that's really important, as I can say it, like, no. But I'm just putting the information out there. I mean, why do it? Why charge for it? I don't fucking know. But I mean, people do. I mean, I went through some shit before where I was like, damn, this person came and played the fuck out of me, but maybe if I had the upper hand, I'd be a lot better off, And I didn't have the upper hand. I didn't have any hand in it at all. It was just a stupid thing, and I believed that it was something there to care about me, and I did it because I believed that I was supposed to, you know what I'm saying, put myself out there, and maybe it was something that was appropriate for me to. I didn't have a position in it at all, and more or less it was me being stupid, allowing someone to not care for me, and I just knew, because me having a growing body, I felt different ways, and I didn't have anyone. I believe that I needed someone,
And to be real, I just believe that that person was about to just motherfucking give me a good ass motherfucking workout. Like, woo, shit, man, hours, motherfucking, please. Something I ain't never had before, okay? And it was a great big fucking disappointment. I couldn't believe it. I was so out of place. I could not stand it. And I had to learn my lesson. And that was all leading up to me. It wasn't because of that. That was leading up to me already knowing where I'm going. To care for myself better. To be who I have to have for me. And that's me. You know, it's not going to matter if somebody don't want to be something for me. They're not going to give me what I'm looking for. Because, I mean, come on now. And then the person's telling me like, he said he don't like me. And then he was like really stuttering and he was trying to tell me that I did not like him. He kept trying to tell me I didn't like him. But he spit on me. He spit between my legs. Like he used his saliva, his bodily fluids on me. And I didn't have to have him to do that. Like I literally could create. I had to be able to learn how to grow my own bodily fluids. And he was not the one to show me how to receive my growing body. And some people would have told me that I was dead, like that they would put me on medication, that they would say that, you know, it was leading up to me, you know, going through all kinds of stuff. And I'm telling you, a lot of those medications those drugs that they give, it dries the body out. It really does. And that's how people start having pain, because their body is being drawn out because they're not given supplements. So like an antihistamine. I was chapter 51 in 2023. And chapter 51 means basically, in my situation, I was kidnapped and held hostage in a mental health hospital. And they tried to force me to take drugs, including drugs that they knew that was listed that I had that marked as allergic reaction. But I don't know how they got the record, but whoever they got the record from, they would have known. There is a system through pharmaceutical dialogue, and plus it even confirmed itself when I just went and was chapter 51 again. So they know better, but I didn't tell them a motherfucking thing because I said, you know what? What are they doing to me? And I didn't say shit to them, but I would not take them pills. And there was even this man got on his knees trying to talk, you know, here. No, they had people sitting there trying to get me to eat is where I'm going with this. And it was one time, it was like some pasta, something, and I picked through it and I ate some of it, but I was eating some potato chips and some sandwiches and little stuff like that, but I was not eating enough. But one thing I could say, that was Rogers. They had enough food where they had the food out there, you know, somebody just had to ask for it. And they were allowing, you know, someone to, now I don't know how healthy it was, but they unlocked the refrigerator. I'm Jasmine Renee Davis. They opened up the drawers and cabinets. They had a water machine there and things like that. And so if somebody wanted like a sandwich or something like that throughout the time, and I really appreciate it. And that would have been great for me because I can eat, but I just was not. And they said, like, they tried to diagnose me like with perhaps like this anorexia because I was just going through some stuff. And I barely was eating, like literally, like I didn't have to eat, like, because that's where I was, what I was doing. I was not anorexic. I was not trying to harm myself or anything like that. But I was in this condition where I was in an emotional state of finding myself and just, I cannot tell anybody exactly how I can put it plainly enough, but I
had more interest in my reality, my real self, but then when I did eat, I would, you know, I was not anorexic, and it was not an illness. It was not me being mentally ill. It had nothing to do with what a motherfucker gonna guess or find in their book. I tell you that. But what was prescribed to me was an antihistamine, like Claritin, Benadryl, that sort of thing. And I said, why are you gonna drive me out? Now today I say, they're trying to kill me. And the reason why I support that evidence is because I'm already not eating. I did not know, because before when I was doing it, I was eating I was eating different proteins. So I wasn't being affected as much as I am now to know how serious, like I could eat some liver, you know what I'm saying? And it would still be like breaking down in my system, like release or whatever it was in there, whatever, if they put a drug in there, that shit was still in my system. Whereas and now it's just like quite different, because I don't have that. So I know how important it is to build blood or whatever. And I was drinking milk and, you know, eating like, I don't know, ice cream. I mean, I was just eating cheese and, you know, I was just eating what the fuck I wanted to eat. I was really eating what I wanted to eat. But when I look at it now and I see that, and I can see that how important not having the nutrients, like if I don't eat for days now, it's fucked up. Right? But I've been living this way for, you know, getting more and more involved in it, but consistently throughout like more than 1 year. Okay. And I haven't had a lot of food to eat or whatever, but so I know the difference now. And if somebody is giving me stuff to dry me out and I'm already not eating, that's going to make me more and more weak. And then it's going to cause them to be able to, you know, make some kind of accusation toward me to say like that I'm more sick than I am. My body is my bones are going to be a specific way. That's why they say older people have osteoporosis and they're fragile. But no, it's because they're not getting they're probably not having sex like they used to. So they're going to find a difference where they don't know what it is. You're not exchanging a bodily fluid with someone, you know, like probably you were too before, please. And, you know, like that's just like perhaps like drinking milk. Like I got out of jail and I was trying to buy milk and orange juice at Quick Trip. And that's what I was looking for and going after. And then I got kicked out of Quick Trip for that. Like the police officers of Kenosha, Wisconsin trespassed me from 2 different Quick Trips. Sheriff Department, Police Department. And so it's just like, why would you guys, you know, and I had talked to these people before I even went in the store. So what's up? You know what I'm saying? Into their gas station. And so when someone is not having that to kind of, you know, take care of them, they're not going to tell you, they'll say some things like, the reason why you're walking bent over like that is because of osteoporosis. No, it's not. It's because you just gave them a little short ass cane, because I'm going somewhere with this, that they've been fucking bent over walking with every time. If I'm not eating, my body is going to feel a specific measure. Whereas I'm going to feel the cold closer to my bones at times, or I'm going to have to stretch out my bones and my bone, you know, I'm going to have to get more food. Like I have to not have dry bones. I have to hydrate myself, and my bones are no exception to my ass, my teeth, my tears, my hair. If I'm not eating, I'm not going to poop right. I'm not going to pee accurately. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been in places where I didn't drink for a while, and literally I felt like I had to pee, but nothing was coming out. And then I had to get myself there, and I had to rub my belly, so that I could feel a lot better, because I basically denied myself, and my belly was probably crying because I did not let my body do what it wanted to do. I literally put my body on punishment by not having any output, because I was not putting any input in it. And so I say these things because they are important for real life, for my life. Everybody can believe what they want to believe, but if someone is giving you a little cane and you're bent over for a year, even with me, I can sit on this bench just for 2 hours and I'd be like, fuck. I literally have to slowly move my leg. I seen it. Even with my dad. Now that knee replacement shit, watch out. Straight up, step aside, goddamn it, too. He's finding a sense of position, and he was doing it for so long where he could no longer straighten his legs. And instead of them doctors telling me the truth, they sent physical therapists that would not stretch my dad's legs out. But if I had it my way any other time, I would have just slowly worked with my dad. And I would have said, fuck that nigga that I was crying over every day, the stress that I had, and took my kids out of the public school, stopped putting them on the buses, and raised my household, because my dad had enough money for me to take care of him. And because of the business deals that I did, my dad looked like a poor man, and he was not. My dad made enough money to take care of him throughout his whole life, and he had enough security that it never would have ran out. And I mean that. But I tried to listen to everybody, what they had to say about his house and to sell it, and these people, Kenosha, trying to take it because he got a little sick or whatever. He worked for fucking 30 years. Never missed a day except maybe one day or something like that. And all they gave him was a 30-day break or whatever when he got sick. And he was entitled to sit the fuck down for 30 days. You know what I'm saying? Bullshit. But soon as they seen that, they want to take every fucking thing from a man. Because who the fuck ever, you're jealous. This man don't have to keep working every day until he die. He been retired 30 years ago, and he maintained for for damn near 30 more years. He did not lose his house. He was not in scandals. For he owned his fucking house. How could you receive that from a black man in a town of haters, where you motherfuckers sitting there still working, his age, and your house still not paid off? Where now his daughter and his grandchildren are born into generational wealth. And everybody after that, you have to look at that and see the level up where it would never be anything worse. Where this man have made for his household to forever be rich and never have to worry about any of that insecurity. People have a hard time with that shit. And that's the truth. Because they ain't have to play him like that. They took away his opportunity to do anything that he wanted to do. And mine too. And whoever else would have. And that's why people sue. And that's why they try to have me sign a paper for generations and generations, your children's children, and whoever executives, representative. And it look like 1,000 years of paperwork. And the list goes on and on and on. And I say, you cannot fucking be serious. And I don't give a fuck. Still have to look at the cases and see, like, they still did some fucking wrong shit. And they did not explain it properly. And they never had, and they didn't. But so I understand that nutrition is a part of it. If my dad was put on blood pressure medication, they say it's going to shrink his penis and all that different stuff, and tell him, things like that. A lot of people's sexual activity changes. They no longer have the what it is that they desire. And that's because it's drying you out. It's shrinking your blood vessels. So when you can go and go and go and go and go for hours at a time, now you taking this medicine and now you got to learn how to breathe different. They're not putting people on this medication and watching it. What it is destroying people. Because a lot of that shit has to go with stimulants and multivitamins. Those, they give that shit to people who are literally bed bound and bedridden, and who have been experimental, who have had all this shit happen to them. They can't get out of, and so they have to go through, or maybe, you know, they're literally putting people in comas around here. And for some reason people are fucking making, I don't know if it's the fucking soft drinks and the shit they putting out here. I don't know what's in the food. I don't know, just because they just make them that way now. But, and it's been strange, but activity is always important. People have to learn how to breathe through it. And a drug is a drug, a poison is a poison. It's no excuse. They shouldn't be giving it out. It should not ever have to come to that. I can't explain it, but a lot of people believe that it's them. They believe that the drug is helping them. They say, "Oh, it's me. This drug is helping me. The drug is doing." No, okay. If it is, can you ask for a different? And a lot of people will be on the same drug for 10 years and never fucking help them. It's time to, no. After 30 days, if that is not, you know, you might want to say 60 days, maybe 90 days. You should know by then if that drug is going to do something. If you don't have a change, if you're worse, it's more than legal. It's more than a motherfucking paycheck to get that shit changed out. You do not have to stay on it. And actually, those things are experimental, and a lot of people stay on it and they get worse, and it tries to, and so it claims a lot of people's lives and their livelihoods. And then they wonder, well, because a lot of people at that age go through so much. I mean, they take stuff, or they might have to, a lot of people are being put in rehab, so they lose their stuff, or I mean, they're on a fixed income, or then they have they have these doctors, they feel like, oh, they gotta go to a doctor. No, you can go to other places and take care of yourself. And a lot of people go to a church and a doctor, and they're not talking to who they see at the church, and the doctor's doing something different, and they're just, it's a fucking mess. A lot of people have a husband and a wife, and then they go to these doctors and they do all kinds of shit. And I mean, the list goes on and on. A lot of people are being made to be like they're mentally ill just because they have strength and independence. And these people see, like me, just because I'm single that you got to tell me what the fuck to do. I don't have to have nobody on my goddamn arm. I don't have to have any man. I don't have to have anybody making choices for me or having a man speak for me. I can speak for myself. So I just have to be careful in these areas. And I really didn't get too detailed on a lot. I just kind of was skipping through a lot of stuff because, I mean, I can build on each of these. And that's one thing why I like to download my videos and upload them to YouTube and stuff like that. So I can always have something to do. I can just study this stuff 10 years from now if I want to. And I don't know what kind of headache it might bring. But this is the closest that I have with myself and all my reality. And it's funny sometimes because it just is what it is. But I'm not trying to bring any pain or suffering or anything like that. The reason why I said a headache, because for me to be where I am right now, in 10 years, I'm going to be so much prettier. And I don't know what I'd be doing. I know I'm going to have some money. I know I'm going to have some life and some gold and other things, whether it's in me or, you know, in a place or whatever. But I know that I'm going to be